Hey fam, welcome back to another episode of I'm Telling You. As always, your witty, antics-filled host, Philly D.
Mr. Gemini.
Yeah, and if you'd like to reach out to us to continue the conversation, because we're always into that and asking for it, so please go ahead and reach out to us at
I'm Telling You at directionsinmusic.org. That's IMTELLINYOU at directionsinmusic.org.
See, when you do it like that, I can't do the robot.
No?
It takes me out of the robot, and it's like you're
That's
just
I like it.
You're denying me my robot.
It's the double L. I threw you off with the double L.
I don't know if I like that. I'm not feeling that. We're gonna have to talk to the counselor about that later.
The counselor.
Or the group of counselors. I don't know.
The counselor called you back yet?
We have like a council of counselors. That's what it is. It's
no
like,
one person can handle this.
Can't nobody handle that.
But I can't handle it, honestly. Please help.
So, first-time listeners, this is a 30-year friendship between the two of us, just kind of chopping it up and having some serious conversations with a lot of antics and dad jokes and movie quotes. And it's gotten us to a point where we decide
we have something to celebrate right now.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is it's brought us to a place where, we've been asking
Broughton us.
Yeah, it's Broughton. Broughten, Broughton.
Like Utes?
Yeah, it's Broughton us.
Okay.
But we are now at this place where we've been asking for, and the universe has finally answered our prayers and our wishes.
All the stars are aligned.
Yeah, it's like the age of Aquarius going on over here.
No guarantees for how long this will work or how long it'll last.
Yeah, well, we did one trial run, and it seemed to go pretty well. So we're gonna do it for real. This is like the take two, but the real one. So hopefully everything's all worked out. But we have a fact checker. Yeah. So if everybody please welcome Miss JD.
Hi.
Right. That's a
wait. Don't we have applause? Can we do
that's
that?
fake applause. We can't do fake applause.
But just once.
Just once.
Hit a button for JD.
No, I can't do it.
You won't hit a button for me.
No, because I don't like you.
I want to hit a button. You still won't let me hit a button.
One day, maybe, if you can find the button.
Young Padawan.
Young Padawan. But yeah, so no, we've been asking for a fact checker. We couldn't find one locally, unfortunately. It didn't work out, but we do. We have a. How do you want to call it? I don't know. What is there a title for this? We didn't even discuss this. Like, should we name this? Is this like a?
Well, I don't know. I mean, we got the Corolero. We got the Tangent Man.
Remote knowledge specialist.
It doesn't really roll off the tongue.
It doesn't.
It doesn't roll at all.
The clickety clacker. You know what I mean? I think that works.
Clickety clacker.
Well, because we're always asking for you, like, yeah, do that clickety clacky thing. It's like the internet's. That's how you do the Google.
Clickety clack, get to that.
Yeah, right. Dude, that was pretty good. I did like that. That was pretty awesome.
Word.
But yeah, so now we actually have a legit fact checker. So there's going to be times where, we're going to be, instead of us trying to look up stuff, because when we did the trial run, this was really awesome, is like she's actually really quick at it and thorough and like point on. Like great facts.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, we're at the speed of light. You got to keep up with this.
I don't know about that. Maybe it's that we're so slow that it seems like she's like really fast at it. And it's like, no.
Maybe that's it. It's all perception.
I don't know. That's what we always talk about. Perception makes it real.
These are the circles we like to delve into, the different things, But yeah, perception.
Well, see, I take it to the whole all right, the law of attraction thing, where if you keep focusing on that thing, which what we've been focusing on is like, yo, we need to get us a fact checker. Like we need to get better equipment. We need to and we've been doing that, and all slowly but surely, all of that stuff's been happening. Yeah, go ahead, Tap. No.
It's not going to do anything. We know this.
I know. Yeah. Well, just hopefully, just don't try to get it on just you if you can. Because when you're christening the new freaking studio, it's not very helpful.
I didn't christen anything with the studio.
Dude, you skeeted the floor. Well, not this time, but the last time.
Nothing that time.
Nothing.
See? It's nothing each beer it's got its own personality.
Yes, that's your MO. Blame something else. That's how that works.
Yeah, each beer's got its own personality, and it comes with its own vitamins. We were just talking about that.
Yeah, we found out. Yeah, our fact checker helped us out on that. Is there's actually B vitamins in beer.
You thought I was messing around, like, yeah, B for beer, you know.
I mean, that was just my dad joke, but well, I mean, it's coming from grain,
It's serious.
right? Well, because I mean, that's what it is. It's coming from grain, so it's like
It's malted barley.
I could see that there's the potential for, but you know, as we found out, it would be mass consumption of beer to get that, you know, quantity of B vitamins. So it's like,
That's the problem. You're just not drinking enough.
yeah, I know, right? It's like no. It's
You
like
have to have like 38 Guinness.
it was like
or
30
36
Guinness
or something like that.
50 lager. That's ridiculous. I mean, just to get B vitamins,
We get 6 Schlitzes.
dude, it's not enough. You're gonna need 60.
You guys want anything?
Yeah, what do you with 60 Schlitzes? Like what? I need my B vitamins. I keep my B1, my B12.
You don't have to drink like 85 of these things.
Dude, I think what was the light beer? Was like 105.
What's one of those ice?
Yeah, natty ice or
beers?
something.
Yeah.
Like, oh, great. Yeah. No, it's like, can I get like 12 cases to go? What? Yeah, no.
Well, natty ice, you know. Next day after natty ice is not good.
I don't know. I never did it.
Yeah. Well, you're lucky.
Well, I mean, so I was always allowed to drink at leisure because I was taught respect for it growing up.
I kind of was.
So I never felt the need to like want to drink in that kind of a fashion. Like to me, getting messed up just
It was still exciting.
it ruined it.
With the right friends.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I've only like literally been tossed like 3 times in my life, and I mean, I remember most of those nights.
I remember I got so wrecked at my one buddy's house. He lived up, you know, like beyond Skyline, like up that hill in that.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know a couple of cats up there.
And you probably know this guy, but you know we don't do the name thing. But
Yeah. Plus, I don't hang out with those dudes no more.
I remember I was like, was that? Oh, I had 13, 14, somewhere in there. And I was over his house like all afternoon. It was like, you know, considered himself a genius. Like he was the first one that discovered, hey, I can empty out some of the liquor and fill it back up with water and nobody's going to be the wiser. And it was one of those afternoons. And I remember like just, you know, enjoying ourselves, you know, moshing to like the Doors music and drinking probably way too many shots.
Did you say moshing to the Doors?
Oh yeah.
I made
Yeah.
a face at that one too.
And I just remember like when the afternoon was over and I had to go home, I had to get a ride from his mom. And like all the way home in the back seat, I'm like, she has to know something's going on. Like it's got to be coming out of my pores right now. And I'm sitting in the back seat in the most awkward position because I'm trying to find that position that you can sit in that doesn't make you want to barf. Yeah. Statute of limitations is out right now, right? I mean, that was a long time ago.
Well, I mean, all right. That to me, that's not the part that is concerning.
What's this seating position that I was in?
No, I just so like that's the thing is like that's why I never really was big on drinking. Is what if you're gonna drink, like do it for the enjoyment. Getting to that kind of a place, like I don't get the enjoyment at that point, you know, like
Right, but it takes a few times to discover where that point is. And it changes. I mean, if you drink often, like say you don't drink a lot, but you drink often, it might take a little bit more for you to get to that point.
well, see, but every alcohol reacts differently with your body. So
True.
I mean, you know,
Some people can't drink tequila.
I mean, dude, I always say it's like people say, "Oh, I don't like tequila." I always tell them like, "No, you don't like shitty mezcal because there's a difference."
Where I've
You
had
don't
people
want-
tell me, like, they swear up and down, they're like, I can drink clear liquor like it's water. But if I touch that brown stuff, it messes me up. Doesn't matter what it is. Like, brown liquor messes me up. And I'm like, okay.
I mean, dude, it's possible.
I say whiskey, a little bit of whiskey is medicine at the right times, you know?
See, I believe like a lot of it of tequila is medicine at all the time. That's how that works.
That could be dangerous. I don't know. What do you think, JD?
I'm actually searching something right now.
Yeah, tequila's medicine. Like this is where it's originated from.
I'm curious what the difference is between
Tequila and mezcal.
the brown liquor.
Oh, there we
clear
go.
Liquor.
Clear liquor and brown. Well, I mean, it really has to do with barrel aging, doesn't it? I mean, in the old school. I mean, nowadays they can add all kinds of other stuff to add.
I would also think that it might have something to do with what it's made from. Because I mean, I don't know if some of that would it would somehow I guess it would dye it even through the distillation. Like
it has to do with the substances found within it. So if it's clear, it's mean it's a more pure product. The darker varieties contain minute amounts of substances called congeners, which clear liquors do not.
Yeah, so there's just more particulate in it, basically. That's what I'm saying. So maybe it's like a conglomerate of like all of like the funk that didn't quite distill out.
That's the flavor.
Well, but like you're saying, barrel age.
I mean, like, you can make new whiskey, right? You can make whiskey, and like the minute you're done distilling it, you can drink it.
Well, I mean, once it's not the same as proofing itself, maybe because you got to make sure it's proofed right.
Well, yes.
You can't just go straight drink it. You don't want to go. That's how you go blind, bro.
You don't want to drink the top liquor. You want to pour that off.
Whiskey's also aged in a barrel, which then would take the smoke char flavor and the coloring of that within it.
Like
so
either
even if it went
American
clear,
oak.
by the time it came out, it would be darker.
Well, what kind of? It's white oak, I think. That's preferred. I don't know if that's a Canadian product.
They char the insides of the barrels, though.
Yeah, they usually char them so it takes on like a smoky flavor.
Well, that was Jack Daniel's big thing. Is they actually make their own barrels and have.
Is that a Jack Daniel's thing, or is that like mountain grown Folgers? Like all coffee is grown on a mountain. Like, what is this mountain grown Folgers? Like you're special.
Yeah, it's brewed in the Rocky Mountains.
Like, all right, Juan,
in the Coldwater Springs.
I think you're special. Like, wait, you don't think this is a mountain?
But yeah, no, for the Jack Daniels things, yeah, because I was watching a special on that. I want to say it was like on TLC or Discovery, like way back in the day or whatever. They actually produce in a dry county, so you can't even taste there. You have to go to the other end of the property, which is just over like the county line or something like that.
Well, but it's on the premises.
Yeah, and they have their own spring, so they produce. So they have like their ground produces their own water, so they're always getting the same water.
See, that's the thing a lot of people I think would overlook, but the water is really important.
Well, like, see, that's why, that's why I feel like I don't enjoy some beers because whether it has its own flavor or not, and I enjoy it, I can, there's some of them with the different waters. Like my palate is sensitive to that, I mean, that's why I don't do that one. It just, by the way, what?
I want to make the announcement I want to say in about 3 weeks, we'll be able to taste my beer. Hopefully it works out and it's drinkable. It's my first attempt at an all grain brew and it should be drinkable by about 3 weeks from now.
Yeah, that's pretty hot. Yeah,
well, maybe I say 3 weeks from this Friday. So.
Yeah, you've been talking about doing your own beer for a while now.
Yeah, so I've done one with, like I was saying before, with a master. I did one with somebody who's been brewing for a while, and I did this one at home, and I did pretty good, except for like the last little bit. Like I felt rushed, and I missed a step, and I didn't throw in the last hop addition. Is it flame out? So after you turn the heat off on the boil,
yeah, it's like starting to cool down.
You throw the hops in then, so it's not pulling any alpha acids. It's just aroma. So it's
okay.
And I didn't do that until I was chilling. I was like, oh no, actually no, I forgot that. I did the added sugars when I was chilling. I was like, oh crap, I hope it's still warm enough. And I like shook it all up in there while it was chilling, like, stirred it gently, whatever. And and I forgot until later on. I was like, oh crap, I was like, why do I have so many hops? Like, oh man, I forgot one. So I ended up, I'm I dry hopped yesterday. Because it's been a couple of days in there. So, and now I think I have to wait like another week from this Friday before I can rack it and bottle it. So,
Okay.
and then it'll be another couple of weeks before it, finishes conditioning and settles out a little bit. So that it's, what I would say, finished product. And then hopefully after that, as it lagers in the fridge, that it'll get a little better. That's what I'm hoping.
Well, I mean, it's first try, so you never know.
It may be, well, and that's the weird thing. Like, you never know. Like, sometimes, and I've heard this before, like other people will say that are learning how to brew this. I opened my first beer and it tasted like crap. It didn't taste like anything I expected. And they said, well, okay, well, leave the rest in the fridge for another week or two and then try it again. Because sometimes the off flavors will settle out after a while. Like as it clarifies and as it sits there and continues to lager. So, but I don't know if that works the same with ales as it does with actual lagers, but.
I am not a brewer, so I couldn't tell you.
And I guess if you could bottle condition it longer, but I don't know. I'm still learning stuff. So bottle conditioning is, for anyone that doesn't know, bottle conditioning is when you add a little bit of extra sugar after the main ferment just before you bottle, so that when you cap it, that added sugar is food for the yeast to create just enough to create bubbles in your beer. That's what conditioning is.
So conditioning is collecting bacteria farts?
CO2, yeah.
Is that what we're telling me?
But we like no, it's yeast.
What, yeast farts? Sorry.
Yeah, which is a fungus.
Fungus farts?
It's actually, it's a non-mushroom growing fungus. It's just a spore.
It just eats sugar and farts.
That's all it does. Well, it poops.
Yeah,
It poops alcohol.
Makes your beer bubbling.
And it farts CO2. It sounds pretty cool. And it's full of vitamins. I mean, the fungus have had it figured out for a long time. I'm just saying.
B12.
I'm not joking about this. This is for reals, man. Are you going to be okay there?
Dude, you're killing me right now, Smalls. Holy Jesus Lord.
B vitamins, man. Right here. All right.
Dude, I want to say, like, honestly, your rants lately have been very, like, spot on and continuous. Like, dude, your tangents have been, like, somewhat delightful and enjoyable to listen to.
Well, I didn't want to say anything, but
I didn't want to say
I didn't want to say anything, but I didn't want to say anything. But on break, I partook in double noodles.
Dude, that was double noodles?
That was double noodles.
Oh, Jesus Christ. We all know what that leads to.
No, we don't. Doing what?
Dude, I think we're like 3 for 3 on double noodles. If it happens, it'll be 4 for 4. You would still be batting 1,000.
No, but seriously, I didn't eat that much for dinner, so I needed some sustenance.
Dude, you were ransacking chips and cookies and everything.
Yeah, those are some good cookies.
I mean, my kid made them, so you know.
Yeah, I don't know how Little D gets the crack in there though. That's the impressive part, because you don't even taste it. It's amazing. Like, you don't even taste it, but it's just
it depends on what kind of mixer you use.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a counter mixer, so it like really just it blends it really well.
All right, I'll let you get away with that. It's something. There's crack in there somewhere. I don't know.
It's TLC.
It must be. It's the love.
Yeah, you can't go chasing waterfalls.
Dash of love. Oh, jeez.
Because I don't want no scrubs.
How do you not know?
Come on, Captain, you're killing me. Really? No. Oh, dude, you still need to watch that movie. That is a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a new one we got to watch, apparently. Our dude reached out to us and was like, yo, we need to, we were talking about Steve Buscemi, right?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently there's a movie called Living in Oblivion that he did. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think it's Living in Oblivion with I don't know I think he's the director in the movie. So he's not the director of the movie, but he might have also been that. I don't know.
Is it like one of these like Sundance Film Festival things?
I think so.
Okay.
Like it's
I'm not judging. I'm just saying, It's one of those artsy pieces.
I don't. Well, so he said, especially with like how you and I do what we do, and the antics that have ensued, just not even like on mic, but like behind the scenes to get this stuff to happen. Like you can't write this stuff. You really can't. And so he said, with that in mind, he's like that in and of itself would be something you and I would really enjoy just to watch. And then he's like, yo, you could do like shows on just like that.
You know what I feel like I need to watch that I haven't seen in a very long time? Good Morning Vietnam.
Oh, dude.
I haven't seen that in a long. I mean,
I literally
I miss Robin.
I just quoted that movie 2 days ago when I was at the brewery.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was talking to my dude who he was unfortunately in the kitchen, which he shouldn't have been.
Drinking a Headmaster.
Yeah, there you go. Well, yeah, but so homeboy's like, he's doing food prep and he shouldn't be. But, you know, he's the boss and he's the man and he handles his stuff. So he's doing his thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we started getting on the topic of like something and sort of like kind of like crack the tension in the air. Because we were in the brewery, I was just like, yeah, Bobby Bob beer, best beer Vietnam. Yeah, Bobby Bob beer, only beer Vietnam. And it was like, boom, you know, and it got a smile on his face because he's a movie guy like us. So
yeah, he definitely is. And the music.
Yeah, especially the music. But yeah, so to get him to like, you know, break character for a second, just be like, oh, that was pretty good. You know, it was good to see him laugh. But yeah, dude, I love that movie.
Yeah, the couple afternoons I'd like to, you know, it's been a while, but to go over there just in the afternoon and have a beer, you know, light lunch. And the one time I went over there and there was two different movies playing and they were both, I think one was a newer one, but the other one was a classic. What the heck was it? Can't think now.
Yeah, that's good.
But I looked up and I immediately, I was like, I looked at the screen for like 3 seconds. I was like, oh, I know what this is. I don't know if I'd consider myself a movie guy. I'm sure there's many people out there that are much more, but you know what it is. When like a classic movie, you could see like 10 seconds of it and you're like, oh, I know exactly what this is.
It's like, yeah, I can name that tune in like 3 notes. It's like, yeah, dude, I can name that movie in 3 seconds. And it could just like literally be the intro or something, like right before the rolling, like for the opening credits or something. And just be like all over it.
There's so many I forget about that I haven't seen this. Like, remember Romancing the Stone?
Of course.
There was there was 2 of those, right? There was another.
Yeah, Jewel and Nile.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Kurt Douglas and Catherine, the hell's her name? Oh, damn it.
Turner.
I'm horrible with names.
Yeah, Kathleen Turner. Yeah,
Kathleen
there you go.
Turner.
See,
Yep.
Fact checker saves the day. This is why we love you. This is a great thing. But yeah, because in Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if he was in both. I think he was. I think he was. Like he was
He
towards.
played Ralph.
Yeah, what was his name? Ralph.
Ralph.
Ralph. I think it was Ralph. Yeah.
I don't know. I just know he was a short dude and he did stuff.
He's a short dude and he did stuff. Like, deplane, boss.
Though that was another guy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, your description wasn't very apt.
I know. But dude, it just whenever I think of like Danny DeVito now, I always think of Super Troopers 2, where the one guy, he's like, you know who is my favorite Batman villain? Is the Danny DeVito, is the Penguin. He's like, oh, that's Danny DeVito, the actor. It's the same guy. He's like, no, he's like the guy on Always Sunny's in Philadelphia, and not the same. And he's just like getting more and more pissed off about it. He's like, no, that's Danny DeVito. And then so I think the other guy like hops in on it too, right? Starts cracking with him.
I'm still more a fan of the original. I do like the second one, but I'm still more a fan of the original Super Troopers.
Well, and to me is because there is run-on jokes from the first to the second, which, so like the second one, there's plenty of jokes that are still good by themselves, but then the ones that are like the continuation, because they wouldn't really have the appropriate context, they wouldn't be as funny. So it's not a true standalone as far as, that goes.
It's the again that makes it. Not that there's anything wrong with that. There's everything right with that.
Oh, yeah, there is.
It's the again that makes it funny. I get that.
But
my reference last time we brought this up was The Matrix. I was like, The Matrix could be a perfect standalone. Like you wouldn't have to add anything onto that. I mean, the ones that came after that, like they were all right. They were good in their own, but you'd be fine with just the one. Like just introducing that concept was so revolutionary.
Was it revolutionary
the way
though?
It was done. Well, I think it was.
I mean, I felt like it was very literal.
Well, yeah.
You know, I mean, so because it's so literal that it's metaphorical. I mean, it's like,
I don't know. It hits you in a similar way to the way Tron hits you the first time you saw it, but in a way even deeper because that was like the reality within the reality. But this is like, no, this is the reality. Like we're pulling you out of it right now. And then like you can keep like when they did more of them, it was just like, well, we got to make this rabbit hole even longer. And it was just a contest to see how more far-fetched you could make it. But just the original concept alone, I think, was a perfect standalone. And that was the reference that I made.
Well, I mean, to me, like, all right, if the fact of, and I think this was part of it, is the fact of that they were in the Matrix world and then removed out of it into what's like the real world, as I like to air quotes, that in and of itself could also be them still plugged into the Matrix. It's just that's the different platform, so it gives them that other belief system.
This is the outlying program that you fall into. So it's not actual reality. It's like reality light. You're still plugged in. You're still in a cocoon.
Because they were talking about how it's like you're given the choice. Because, you know, instead of them being like, hey, this is your world and you have to accept it, it's like we give you a choice. It's like it's either this world or this world in a sense. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I was just saying the rabbit hole goes even deeper because, like, okay, well, what is it that you want? Once the computer program started to figure out, hey, if I can make these people feel like they found what they thought they found, you know, and like you can go even deeper. And it's like, my only point was the original concept was such a like standalone, blow you away concept. And it was done so well that it didn't have to have a sequel.
Well, I mean,
and that was my reference to the Super Trooper. That it was perfect all on its own. The second one is funny, but
so the original Super Troopers is perfect. You're saying?
I think as a standalone, all by itself. Yeah.
So you think it's perfect?
But I mean, it can keep going. I mean, I whatever. I mean,
I'm trying to get you to say that it's perfect because it is. That movie's amazing.
The original?
Yeah.
It really was. It was well put together.
Yeah, well, and it's like one joke after another, and it actually has like progression. Well, I mean, it has like true progression because, you know, any time they show you scenes prior to
having a huge conversation about this movie in particular, but
yeah, but we never went as deep as this before.
Sure, we did.
There's a whole new level to it on this one.
Yeah, you can tell yourself that.
I mean, I feel like it is. There's everything right with that. Yeah, because there's plenty of like foreshadowing in a sense where they're only bringing in stuff that is pertinent. So like every scene had information in it. So, you know, like the storyline continues. So yeah, the way they put it together, like produced it, the overall layout from start to finish. Yeah, I mean, it's a well done movie.
I find it in some moments it's actually so jam packed full of side jokes that it's kind of hard to track where the movie's going. You're kind of like, oh, okay, here we are. Never mind. Because it's just it gets me right here. It gets me.
Yeah, but it's one continuous joke, like from scene to scene to scene, like it's always going.
There was another one like that. Wedding Crashers was one of those. Like,
oh yeah, right.
Every time I watched it, I would just laugh my ass off. It didn't matter.
Yeah, and that one's also pretty continuous. Like every scene, there's
the chemistry between those two actors. I think was powerful.
What, Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson?
Owen Wilson, and yeah. And we've already talked about Vince Vaughn, but Owen Wilson matched up with him. That was, and his own little thing that he brings, like Owen, the way he delivers a line. You know,
yeah. No, they definitely complement one another. I'll agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
I mean, plus that was just it was solid writing. I felt, I mean, that's the thing is you can have a great script, but if the actors don't actually put it out there right, if they don't have the, if they're not casted correctly or they're not given the right presentation because they're just not feeling the character or whatever, that writing is nothing now. But in the reverse of that is the writing could be crap, and if the person who's doing it is perfect for it and delivers it right, like, dude, it can be gold now.
Like Walkenizing something.
Oh, dude, Walkenizing. Oh, right. See, there you go. Like making
like
the words
Christopher
again.
Walken can take 3 words and make it like a 5-minute thing.
Dude, I knew you probably do. You really could. This is a thing. Dude, I want to see this happen.
That was another one of my words I made up, right?
Yeah.
Walkenizing.
Yeah, that and sincerely.
Sincerely.
Yeah. I don't know, you and your words.
That's what I do. my tangenting.
Yeah, the tangent, man.
I'm working with what I got here.
Dude, oh my goodness.
That's Senor Corolero to you.
Yeah, well, was it we were talking about earlier where it's like Tangent Man? Miss JD hears it as like Rocket Man, but it's like Tangent Man.
Just somehow kind of swipe that and write our own lyrics for it.
Well, I mean, you've been suggesting music to go with this. You're trying to, I feel like, really live this out. It's like becoming a personal.
Yeah, I feel like it should be some kind of a Western. I don't know, like
Yeah, dude, I got like old school like
Bonanza type music or something like that.
Well, so I mean, when you said that, like, I kind of saw it as like, all right, cool. I could see it as like Western style, even though me originally I saw it as more as like Starsky and Hutch with like 70s cop duo kind of a thing. We're just like real slapsticky about stuff. Almost like if Cheech and Chong did Starsky and Hutch.
So like riding off into the sunset, and I'm going off on such a tangent, and I start falling off my horse, and you got to and pull me back up, the corraller, because that's what you do.
See, I think that would work really well for like comic book.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we got a guy, right? Or we know a guy who knows a guy.
No, I got people.
You got people?
Oh,
We need a comic
Can you call
strip.
his people?
do we want people?
Can your people call his people and get something together?
We'll
mean-
do lunch.
Some of my people don't really like phone calls. I'm just saying.
I want to look at the eyes.
I want to look
You
at
know,
that.
I want to see the face.
She like the juice.
That's so racist. No, it's seriously.
Oh,
But seriously, folks.
but seriously,
I
folks.
want to look at the eye. Yeah, that didn't make it any better. I want to
No.
look you in the eye.
That's
I want to see your face.
your face. I really don't know what to do with you sometimes. Yeah, go ahead, sigh it out. See if I give a crap.
I do though. I want to see your face. There's nothing wrong with that. Just- everybody's covering their face these days. It's so depressing. What? Don't kick me.
Dude, well, you're in reach now. I can smack the shit out of you.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah. And there's no equipment in the way now. Yeah, I got us a new studio set up. We've upgraded. It's even better. Like, dude, we got all sorts of like crazy good stuff going on. It's like only up and up for us. See, that's the thing. I'm Crowler. I got to bring it back in. Here it is.
So what do you want to talk about?
Being about positive and all that good stuff.
I am positive.
I am positive. Yeah, you also double noodles.
It's the beer. Don't worry about the noodles.
So you get all those B vitamins in you. Now you're ornery.
I'm on a massive B vitamin kick right now.
I'm all jacked up on B vitamins.
It's got vitamins and minerals and such.
Yeah, right. Well, that's what you said, right? You were Miss JD. You were like, it's in minerals and vitamins. It had
So
like
does
both.
Captain Crunch. I'm just saying. So does Captain Crunch.
Oh, that's freaking hilarious. I mean, that is true.
It's essential. Yeah.
Isn't that stuff made from corn though?
Most of it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean-
most all those cereals are made of
And then whiskey's made from corn, right? So
yeah.
does whiskey have B vitamins?
Oh, and it's fermented. So yet again, I got no problem with that.
I feel like this could be a thing.
Fermented things are healthy. Like you ferment food, that's good for you. It's like the good bacteria.
Well, yeah, like cheese and stuff.
Right?
Well, yeah.
Man.
Plus, I mean, like when you do, I mean, you know, when you make bread with yeast, that's fungus. That's what you said, right? That's what yeast is.
Yeah.
So there you
It
go.
came from the cereal grains with all the vitamin Bs.
Is that from this? What, in whiskey
all the vitamin Bs?
In beer, it said because it uses cereal grains.
Whiskey wouldn't work because it's stilled. So
Oh, because it's not sitting in it. It's
you're just pulling off the alcohol.
In whiskey, there is phosphorus, thiamine, which is vitamin B and zinc.
So there is some nutrition in whiskey, is what I'm hearing. Slightly. I mean, all I heard was there's nutritional value in whiskey.
Well, certainly there is. Like I said, it's medicine.
See, that's why I say it's tequila.
If you get into like single malt scotch and stuff like that, like certain places that it's made, that determines the style that it is because it takes on different notes from the peat that grows in that area that they use to burn the barley. So when they scorch the barley, they use the local peat. And like if you've ever had Islay, which is a style of single malt.
Yeah.
Islay tends to, a lot of people don't like it. It's an acquired taste. It tends to taste like, it's got like an iodine finish.
Yeah. They say it's like too peaty.
But that's actually like, it's found in medicines, that chemical component. Like it's.
Whiskey was used as a medicine. In ancient Gaelic, it loosely translates to water of life.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's about right.
Mm-hmm. No, this is not a race. Come on, dude.
Scotland, its apothecaries sold whiskey as a tonic to slow aging, cure congestion, and relieve joint pain. During the American Prohibition, doctors prescribed whiskey to treat pneumonia, high blood pressure, and tuberculosis.
They also prescribed Coke syrup, actually, I believe, which was a cocaine derivative.
On shelf.
No, it wasn't even a derivative. It was cocaine in some kind of a drinkable form. It was coca extract or something like that.
Best of my knowledge, it was laced with cocaine at one point. Yeah.
Well, the original Coca-Cola, yes.
Yeah, I feel like Joe Rogan had a conversation with somebody about this not that long ago, and I was listening to it.
Oh, recently?
Yeah, fairly recently. I want to say in the past few months or something like that, maybe.
I mean, it's a historical thing. You think about some of the stuff we used to use that like people wouldn't even like laudanum.
Dude, I was actually thinking about that.
But then again, there's other things that are considered perfectly legitimate now. Oxy is no joke. Oxy's taking lives.
Well, but isn't that like basically like pharmaceutical grade, heroin in a sense? I mean, it's like super clean.
It's yeah.
But dude, I don't know.
I mean, methadone, if you want to get technical,
that's crazy stuff.
And that's what they use to treat people who are coming down off. But it's basically the same thing. In some ways, some people consider it worse.
The original recipe of Coca-Cola in 1885 did contain cocaine.
How long did it last for? When was it actually off the shelves? Because I heard stories that like people my parents' age could still get it at one point. And at some point it got cut off. I don't know if it was the 60s or 70s.
When Coca-Cola was invented, cocaine was legal, and it was a common ingredient in medicines, and people thought it was safe to use in small amounts.
Yeah. Dude, I remember this. Well, I mean, not like literally, but...
In small amounts, yeah, I guess.
But I always say moderation. Anything in moderation can be a good thing, if it's actually helping.
Well, I mean, from what I recall... And we have a fact checker now, but from what I recall, like the coca leaf itself, if you don't process it and do all this other crap to it, there's actually no ill effects to it. They chew on it like it's a cup of coffee in the morning and it wakes them up. They use it as you would use medicine, sparingly when they need it. And it causes no ill effects. You got to work a couple hours in the field and you're tired. you chew on a coca leaf. It gives you a little pep in your step. You know, it's kind of like chewing a piece of gum, whatever. You know, that's like a cultural thing.
Yeah, it's like a caffeine
There's
spike.
no side effects from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, in moderation or small amounts, they did view it as a medicinal.
I think it was actually good for cleaning your teeth and stuff like that too.
Well, it claimed to cure headaches, upset your stomach, and fatigue.
And fatigue.
Oh yeah, fatigue is gone. You've got the cleanest hut in the whole village.
The cleanest hut in the whole.
You have got, wow, that's an immaculate hut. What are you doing? I'm putting a new roof on. Don't worry about it.
It's like, it's a dirt floor, but it's like the cleanest dirt floor you've ever seen. It's like, wow, that's a well swept dirt floor there. That's just great. Wow, it's because I swept it like 17 times.
It's like swept in like a crisscross pattern. Like somebody really took some time.
The floor has gone to plaid.
Not a bad
to
thing.
answer your question
Coca
about
leaves for
when
everybody.
the cocaine was taken out,
Yeah.
it was created in 1885 by a man in his backyard.
By a man in his
Joe
backyard.
Pemberton.
That's
Joe
always
Pemberton, a
Joe-
pharmacist from Atlanta, Georgia, to be specific. And then after an American spoke out about the addictive ingredients, cocaine, in 1891, it slowly revamped its medicine's formula. And then they eventually took it out completely. So they eliminated it. It was reduced over time, but it was completely eliminated in 1929 out of the Coca-Cola.
So in 29, okay.
So the start of the
So
1930s.
more like
was,
our grandparents, I would say,
wow, okay.
were of the age, I guess, that they could have gone to the pharmacy and picked that up.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of crazy though. I mean,
And
is
they
it?
still do have Coca-Cola syrup at certain pharmacies that you can pick up, but I guarantee you it does no longer have cocaine in it.
Yeah.
I've heard that, but that's what I was wondering. Like, so, like, what is that? Or is it, I don't know.
I mean, I don't
Like,
know.
is it something that's recreated in a lab so it's okay? Or,
That's like tantrum soda.
like, I always wonder about that. Well, we recreated it, so it's not really cocaine. It's, it's good for you.
Well, I mean, we've had that discussion before where they go into the Amazon or these, deep jungles, find these plants that have these therapeutic components to them, this holistic medicine, and then they take it and they synthesize that molecule or chain or whatever it is that actually produces the result they're looking for. And there's your new drug. Yeah, so it's literally a synthesized plant component.
Yes.
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 Did you ever think about that?
I think the point I try to make when I get on this subject is it's already been created with, I mean, like, we look at the active ingredients and we ignore everything else. Where do we draw the line there? Who's to say that some of the other components within the natural organization of that organic substance aren't there for a reason? Whether they provide like different essential oils or protein strains or whatever it is to add to that combination that makes it more absorbable by your body. Maybe there's a reason it comes the way it does.
Well, yeah, we've talked about that with like ayahuasca, and
You can't recreate that. It has to be this process.
well as I think was it on the one Joe Rogan podcast or whatever, the one guy was talking about it, where our body can only actually utilize the DMT on different levels by being able to be ingested like through our gut. So it has to be actually consumable to cross the barrier from our intestines.
Your stomach acids or whatever would just destroy it. Yeah. I think that, hey.
You got mail.
Man, motherfucker.
But yeah, that was
Got a notification for looking up cocaine.
Uh-oh. We're on a list.
oh no, you've been red flagged.
I'm telling you at directionsmusic.org.
If you don't hear from us soon, please send help. We're an Nairobi in print. Oh, but yeah, no, the
Send all proceeds to
I'm
telling you.
Come on, let's get back to
Washington.
I wasn't even in aisle 4.
No, you weren't. Irv.
But yeah, where the heck? Oh, great. You tangented me. Good job, buddy. Yeah, right. Off the tracks now.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
Yeah, no, I literally forgot where the heck. Oh, thanks a lot, buddy.
JD, where were we?
Yeah, somebody.
Ayahuasca.
Oh, thank you. Perfect. Yeah, thank you. So, the ayahuasca with the DMT, because you have to, in order to properly ingest it as medicine, it needs to be consumed or cooked, in a certain manner. So, I agree with you in that aspect where you're just synthesizing the single component. To me, you're almost losing the actual essence of it.
I think they actually refer to it as like brewing.
Well, right. Yeah. Yeah. Because you're making basically like a stewed tea.
Yeah. I mean,
you're boiling it off and then you're letting it.
Well, like a chemical reaction happens faster in a heated, so they're forcing a chemical reaction through the heat, but it takes, you really have to boil it out of the, and I don't think it takes very long. You have to boil it out of the roots and the leaves, and you pull the roots out after a fairly short period of time, but then you boil that down and you add more water and you boil it down again. So there's a whole process to it that they claim came from communication with the plants themselves.
Yeah, dude. Which, I mean, so my question would be is what did they finally do? Were they smoking some of because I mean, that's the thing is they'll smoke
well, there's natural tobacco around there that has.
Yeah, as well as other plants. They'll just dry them and smoke them like tobacco. So, I mean, which plant did you finally get to that all of a sudden you were just like, you know what? That tree told me to make special tea and I'm going to go do it.
So they said as far back as a couple thousand years ago. These shaman were alone in the woods. Maybe they were, smoking on the local tobacco. It's a different, I forget what it was. Tobacco rustica or something like that.
Oh yeah, you did. You know that stuff. I don't.
Yeah, it's nothing you'll find in your average Marlboro.
Well, because that's the thing
it's actually a different strain altogether.
Yeah, we were talking about the natural wild strain of tobacco is actually hallucinogenic. It has
what the Native Americans would have smoked was a tobacco, but
yeah, it was.
It's the Aztec tobacco.
Is that another reference to Aztec tobacco?
Nicotina rustica is commonly known as the Aztec tobacco.
There you go.
Or strong tobacco. It's a rainforest plant.
Yeah, see, there you go. Yeah.
You're hearing nothing about that.
Well, and that's what I was saying is so it's not even just the tobacco that they would smoke, but it was, other herbs as well. So even in that capacity, you're still getting, some form of a, medicine, a utilization that is actually beneficial to you and your body.
Some shaman was just sitting around the campfire one night, high off his gourd, and just got visited by the spirit of ayahuasca, who just gave him the whole recipe. You got to find these roots right over here. And they just start glowing in his mind. He's looking at them and he's like, okay. And find these leaves over here and they start glowing. How did he get this message? What the plants told us?
Well, so I would say the whole Tesla Einstein thing, lucid dreaming, maybe they were meditating and they just crossed over to that side where we say the Akashic records and there's just the knowledge is available. Yeah.
The knowledge is available is different than the plants told us.
Well, but so that might also be language barrier.
And I've heard that from more than one person in that reference.
But so maybe that's language barrier because of how they would explain it and how we would modify it from, the translation.
I think that's pretty straightforward. I mean, that's not I got an inkling or I suddenly realized that. No, it was the plants told me. Feed me, Seymour. Feed me.
That are smoked for medicinal. So just naming some that you might be familiar with. The marshmallow plant.
The marshmallow plant.
The marshmallow plant is actually.
Yeah.
I told one of my girls this one.
Officinalis.
Oh, what's this?
The Althea officinalis.
See, we're using way too many science names now.
That's the Latin, right? For the marshmallow plant.
Sure.
But see, what is a marshmallow plant? What I don't even understand.
Well,
what is it?
The flavoring that's used in the making of marshmallows.
Right.
And I was telling my daughters this one, one of them had a sore throat one day. We got home from school, like, oh, Daddy, I got a sore throat. I was like, here's 2 marshmallows. Don't just chew them and swallow them. Suck on them for a while, and then just let them kind of melt in your mouth, and your sore throat should go away. Because they contain a little bit of that root, which is actually, it's an old medicine that we used to use, back in the early Americas, when we had to use natural resources to find cures for things like willow bark. Willow bark was commonly used for headaches.
You're like blowing my mind right now.
Correct. The marshmallow, he is correct on. It goes back to ancient Egyptian times. However,
Holy
most
crap.
modern day marshmallows actually do not contain much of the marshmallow root anymore.
Because it's probably an extract.
Yeah, but
wow.
You might get a little bit.
Dude, this is crazy talk. Marshmallow plant. Is that what it's called now? Like, it's just like its new name because that's what
Is it a root? I want to say it's a root. I don't know.
They do use the root for the flavoring of the
some stuff, and I don't get it, like why certain things stick in my head and why some don't.
Dude, I don't know. The knowledge you bring is like crazy.
I don't remember all my times tables, but I can remember this. I don't remember the capitals of all the states, but
yeah, 66 times in the head.
What time zone am I in? Like, who cares? Does anybody really know what time it is? What's that? Chamomile.
Smoke chamomile. See, this goes back to what I'm talking about. Like the idea that
was this about what?
They have poppies, hops, lavender, lettuce.
Hops are a distant cousin to marijuana.
Oh yeah, I think we've talked about that before.
Catnip.
So this is
oregano, passion flower.
Yeah, don't mess with nutmeg. I hear that's nasty stuff. That'll make your whole world go. Woo, 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 woo.
So, anyways, my point to all of this before you both went off on just things that people smoke. I love table. I love lamp.
Well, this is what happens when you Google. Sometimes you
go down the rabbit hole. Yeah. So my point on all this is that to agree with you with hey, we would synthesize. We would make this thing. To me, it really does lose its true essence because like what we were saying, was it the last shaman the guy was talking about when he was cleansing before he was even allowed to do the ayahuasca because he had to basically prepare his body. He was smoking all of these different herbs as well as the local wild tobacco.
He was smoking that Aztec tobacco, and or was it something similar? I think it was a local version, whatever they had there, but.
Well, it was just it was what they were growing there, which was probably just some very slight variation of it. But
they don't smoke it the same way. It's not like they're smoking it for enjoyment. Because when you watch the way that they smoke that, it's a ritualistic thing.
To me, it reminds me of
mechanical.
It reminds me of like Rastafarian life. It's sacrament. It's what gets them closer to God in a sense, or to what they deem as like the higher power.
But then it's more like
the door to enlightenment almost.
It's more like using sage to cleanse a room kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But you're doing it with your body.
It says that they smoke the other variety of plants in their decantation for different traditional purposes before they do the ayahuasca.
Yeah, because you have to basically you're cleansing your body.
So the continuation is from the last shaman. We're talking about the character that was filmed throughout the whole. What was his name?
Dude, I don't know. I could not honestly. It
doesn't really matter, but
because that's not the main point of it. So that he really doesn't try to over push with his name or anything like that. It's really more about the journey and what he did. But yeah, it's he shows himself. He does. He vlogs it where he's going. For months, and he day after day, weeks after weeks. He's just constantly smoking different herbs and different tobacco, sometimes mixed, and it's because he's cleaning himself. He's like blessing himself. He's basically setting his body up to get rid of as many impurities as possible, so that when he accepts the ayahuasca, he truly gets the healing from it.
To a Western mind, that sounds really like what kind of herbs do you smoke to cleanse your body? But we're talking about this. This guy was living in a hut for was was it 130, 150? I forget how many days it was in a row. And
it was a few months.
This is after doing several installments of ayahuasca, which last, 12 to 18 hours a session?
Well, depending, but yeah, the typical, I think, is, you're looking at like a relative day of
4 hours up and down, I think, but then it's like the rest of the time to process. So it can be like 8 to 12 hours, sometimes longer, I think. That's what I remember hearing. And it was like after doing all that, he would go on, he was basically on a fasting retreat. So he was eating nothing but rice, like cooked rice and fish. I think that was it. And tobacco. He said cooked rice, fish, and tobacco. That's all I was eating.
Right. Yeah, I think so. Something like that. There may have been more to it, but yeah, it was a very restricted diet. But I mean, they're also literally in the middle of nowhere in, frickin' Peru.
Yeah. In the middle of the jungle.
Yeah, literally. Literally in the middle of the jungle. And as always, we're we finally start getting to ourselves into like a solid topic, and it's time to start. Oh no!
Well, I guess we've proven now that there's a couple topics that we've actually gone over twice tonight.
What's that? What do you mean?
Well, between Super Troopers and the ayahuasca trip thing.
Maybe we should do Super Troopers on ayahuasca.
Honestly, anybody new listener, old listener, anybody who hasn't seen the movie The Last Shaman,
definitely see
check
that.
it out, because it's really moving.
Yeah, the journey. It's really about the journey.
It's not about drugs. And as a matter of fact, it comes off at the end. When you really look into this, it's people have quit. I mean, even things you wouldn't like. People have quit marijuana, heroin, alcohol. Abusive relationships, past damage, emotional, physical. It's amazing. It's like the ultimate healer. But
that's exactly what it is. I mean,
if this topic is something that you like or something that you want to continue on with.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I enjoy it because it is that, like you said, it's the healing thing. But we can please write to us. You want to do it because you can want to do your double L's. Go ahead, do your double L's with your double noodles. Let's hear it.
Hit us up at directionsandmusic.org. Hit us up, I'm telling you, at directionsandmusic.org. That's IMTELLINYOU at directionsandmusic.org.
Dude, I'm going to have to start doing it as if like I got goldfish in my shoes. I'm going to start doing some like 70s
style.
like disco stuff and whatever else.
Like a fake gold tooth that you can pop over.
Yeah, right. Why not? Some ODB style. But yeah, so thank you to Miss JD for being our fact checker. That was some super awesome stuff that we learned. We're going to, always come back and do some more. So we're glad that you were here. We're glad that our fans checked in to listen to us. As always, this is, I'm telling you, Philly D.
Mr. Gemini.
Yeah, and thanks for checking in. We love you. We love everything about you. We want to be good to yourself and good to everyone else. And we'll catch you next time, fam. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.